Most of the apps you use every day are free. Social media, messaging apps, video platforms, games. You download them, sign up, and start using them immediately. No payment, no subscription, no cost. And yet, some of these companies are worth billions. Some even generate more money than traditional businesses that sell real products. So that raises a simple question. If you're not paying, where is the money coming from? Because building and running these apps is not cheap. They require servers, developers, security systems, continuous updates, massive infrastructure, and when millions or even billions of people use them at the same time, the cost becomes enormous. So how can something that is free generate so much money? The answer is hidden in something most people don't think about: attention. Because in the digital world, attention has value. The more time you spend on an app, the more valuable you become to it. At first, this sounds strange. How can your time be worth money? But think about it this way. Every minute you spend scrolling, watching, clicking, you are interacting with the platform. And those interactions create data. What you like, what you ignore, what you watch longer, what you scroll past quickly. Over time, this builds a profile, not just of who you are, but of what you might do next. And that information is extremely valuable because companies don't just want users. They want predictable behavior. If a platform can understand what keeps you engaged, it can keep you there longer. And the longer you stay, the more opportunities it has to make money. This is where the real business model begins. Most free apps are not selling a product. They are building a system designed to capture attention and turn it into revenue. And one of the biggest ways they do this is through advertising. When you scroll through a feed, you don't just see content. You see ads, sometimes obvious, sometimes blended in. But every ad you see is placed there for a reason, because companies are willing to pay to reach you, not randomly, but precisely. They don't just want to show ads to millions of people. They want to show the right ad to the right person at the right time. And that's where your data becomes powerful, because the platform knows what you're interested in, what you search for, what you engage with. So instead of showing random ads, it shows targeted ones. And targeted ads are much more valuable because they are more likely to work. If someone is already interested in something, they are more likely to click, more likely to buy, more likely to respond. And companies will pay more for that kind of precision. This is why advertising on free apps has become a massive industry, because it is not just advertising, it is data-driven advertising. But ads are only part of the story, because free apps don't just make money from what you see. They also make money from how you behave. Every action you take helps improve the system. The more people use the app, the smarter it becomes. And the smarter it becomes, the better it is at keeping people engaged, which creates a cycle. More users, more data, better targeting, more revenue, more growth. And this cycle can scale globally. Unlike traditional businesses, apps are not limited by physical space. They can reach millions of users instantly, sometimes billions, which means even small amounts of revenue per user add up to massive totals. At this point, something important becomes clear. You are not just using the app. You are part of its business model. Your time, your attention, your behavior all contribute to how the platform makes money. But this is only the surface, because behind this system, there are deeper strategies designed to keep you engaged longer, return more often, and interact more deeply than you realize. By now, it's clear that free apps don't really make money from being free. They make money from attention, from time, from behavior. But that leads to another question. If attention is so valuable, how do apps get more of it? Because getting someone to open an app once is easy. Getting them to come back every day and stay longer each time is much harder. And this is where design becomes strategy. Most people think apps are designed for convenience, to make things easier, faster, more accessible. And that is true, but it is only part of the picture. Because modern apps are also designed to keep you engaged for as long as possible. Every feature, every interaction, every notification, is carefully structured to increase the amount of time you spend inside the app. Take something simple: scrolling. In the past, content had an end. You would reach the bottom of a page and stop. But now, many apps use infinite scrolling. There is no end. Content keeps loading, again and again. This removes a natural stopping point. And without a stopping point, you keep going. Then there are notifications. A small alert, a sound, a vibration. It seems harmless, but it triggers something important. Curiosity. You want to know what happened, who liked something, who sent a message, what you might be missing. And that pulls you back into the app, even when you weren't planning to use it. Then there's personalization. Every time you interact with content, the app learns something: what you watch longer, what you skip, what you react to. And over time, it starts showing you more what keeps you engaged. Not necessarily what is most useful, but what is most likely to hold your attention. This creates a feedback loop. You watch something, the app shows you more of it. You stay longer. The system becomes more accurate, and the cycle continues. But there's another layer, something even more powerful: uncertainty, not knowing what comes next. When you scroll, you don't know what you'll see. It could be something boring, or something interesting, or something surprising. That unpredictability keeps you engaged, because the next piece of content might be better, and that might is enough to keep you going. This is similar to how certain systems use reward patterns. Not constant rewards, but occasional ones. Just enough to keep you interested. Just enough to keep you coming back. Then there's social interaction. Likes, comments, shares. These are not just features. They are signals. They tell you how others respond to what you do, and that creates a sense of connection, but also expectation. You post something. You wait for a response. You check back again and again. Each time you re-enter the app, and each time the app has another chance to keep you there longer. At this point, something important becomes clear. Apps are not just tools. They are environments. Environments designed to hold attention. And once you are inside, multiple systems work together to keep you engaged. Scrolling, notifications, personalization, uncertainty, social feedback, all working at the same time. But this is not accidental. It is intentional. Because the longer you stay, the more data you generate, the more ads you see, the more valuable you become. And this is where the business model connects directly to design. Engagement is not just a feature. It is a foundation. But there's something even more important happening. Over time, these systems don't just keep you engaged. They shape your habits. You start checking your phone without thinking, opening apps automatically, scrolling without a clear purpose. It becomes routine. And once something becomes routine, it becomes powerful. Because habits don't require decisions. They happen automatically. And that means engagement becomes consistent. Not once, not occasionally, but every day. At this point, the system reaches its full strength. Because now, the app doesn't need to convince you to return. You come back on your own. But even with all this engagement, there's still one more piece of the system. Because keeping your attention is only part of the goal. The real objective is turning that attention into massive revenue. By now, the system is clear. Free apps are not really free. They run on attention. They are designed to keep you engaged. And they turn your behavior into data. But there's one final question. How does all of that actually turn into billions of dollars? Because attention alone is not money. Time alone is not profit. So where does the real revenue come from? The answer is conversion. Turning your time into something that businesses can pay for. The most obvious method is advertising. Every time you open an app, you enter a marketplace, not a visible one, but a hidden one, a space where advertisers compete for your attention. Companies don't just randomly place ads. They bid for them. Behind the scenes, there are systems running in real time, deciding which ad to show you based on what the platform knows about you, your interests, your behavior, your patterns. And within milliseconds, an auction happens. Multiple advertisers compete. The system selects the most valuable option, and the ad appears on your screen. All of this happens instantly, without you noticing. And every time it happens, money moves. Now imagine this at scale. Millions of users, scrolling, clicking, watching. Each interaction creates another opportunity, another auction, another transaction. And even if each one generates only a small amount of money, at scale, it becomes enormous. This is why free apps can generate billions, because they operate on volume. Not just large numbers of users, but large amount of time per user. More time means more ads. More ads mean more revenue. But advertising is only one part of the system. There is also something else. Data, not just the data you see, but the data you create. Your behavior helps improve the platform itself. It trains algorithms, refines targeting, optimizes engagement, which makes the system more effective over time. And a more effective system is more valuable to advertisers because it increases the chances of results. Clicks, purchases, actions, and better results mean higher prices. So the platform becomes more profitable without charging users directly. Then there's another layer, premium features. Some apps offer paid upgrades, extra tools, subscriptions, exclusive content. Most users stay on the free version, but a small percentage pays. And that small percentage can generate significant revenue. Because when millions of people use an app, even a small fraction becomes a large number. This creates a hybrid model. Free access for everyone, paid options for some. And together, they strengthen the system. But the most important factor is scale. Traditional businesses are limited by location, by production, by physical resources. But apps are different. They can grow globally, instantly. One app can reach hundreds of millions of users across different countries without building physical stores, without shipping products. And that changes everything, because once the system is built, adding more users costs relatively little. But each new user adds value, more data, more engagement, more revenue opportunities. This is why some apps grow so quickly and become so valuable, because they don't just serve users. They multiply value through scale. At this point, the full picture comes together. Free apps capture attention. They use design to keep you engaged. They turn behavior into data. They sell access to that attention through advertising. And they scale globally, all at the same time. And that's how something free becomes a billion-dollar business. But this leads to a deeper question. If the product is free, and the system depends on your attention, what exactly are you giving in return? Because you are not paying with money. You are paying with time, with focus, with data. And once that exchange becomes part of everyday life, it becomes invisible, but it is always there, running in the background, every scroll, every click, every second. And that brings everything back to the beginning. Free apps are not really free. They are part of a system where your attention is the product and your time is the currency.